Hi, friends. Welcome back to your Age is Not Your Cage podcast. I have such a special guest for you today, one that is so near and dear to my heart that has been on. She was my very first episode. So I would love to welcome back Tammy Turner. Tammy was my kidney recipient. I donated my kidney to Tammy Turner on June 7th, 2023. So we are about a month out now from our donation. And so we got together this last weekend. We got to do this in person, which was so special. And we just sat down and talked. And we talked and shared our stories, our good moments, our hard moments, our things that we hope help others that may be going through this journey or something similar. So I just invite you to sit back, grab a coffee, a matcha, or grab your AirPods and go for a walk. But don't miss this one, because this isn't just a story about kidney donation. This is a story about our faith, about what got us through. It's a story about community and friendship. It's a story about health and so much more. And so we just sit down, we talk, we share what's coming next, what we're excited about our new zest and vibrancy for life, a new gratitude and thankfulness for life. And so we just want to share these with you. So we invite you just to sit back and listen and help me welcome my sweet friend, sister, family, Tammy Turner. Okay, welcome back, Tammy. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be here. Here we are again.
And I am so glad to be here and on the other side of my transplant surgery. And I just want to say, Carla, I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for you. So I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, as we've talked about a million times, this has been an incredible blessing for both of us.
Yes.
And it has been quite a ride, and one that we both are so shocked to be on the other side of, and how strange it is to be on the other side of surgery.
Yes, 1 month later.
Yes, we are recording this 1 month later, where we are recording together and in person, which is even more special. So the purpose today is to share our journey a little bit. We're going to do a quick recap, but the main things we want to share with you are all the miracles that happen along the way, things we learned that we would like other recipients and donors to know that helped us, and things just about living donors and how you can help, and kind of what's next. So we are going to get started. And the first thing that we're going to do is do a quick recap. And I'm going to put in the show notes where you can go back and listen to the podcast we did before that really details out our story and our journey. But for right now, just to share with you, Tammy got on the transplant list in November. And it was shortly after that several of her friends and family signed up and did the application to potentially become a donor. And I eventually got more and more calls, got accepted through some tests and stuff I did, made my way to Houston for more tests, and then in early March, I was sent a letter that I was a perfect match. And on Tammy's birthday weekend, she was here, and I surprised her with that letter.
Best birthday gift ever.
Yes, and we had such a good time just sharing that news. So that was where it began, and then it went forward with picking a date. And the date that we picked, we will share a little bit later some of the miracles along with all that, but the date we picked was June 7th. And that was, what was that, Tammy?
That was my mom's birthday. My mom's has passed about 25 years ago, and but we celebrate my mom's birthday every year. And when Carla told me June 7th was the day she thought would be a good day, I thought, well, I don't think there could be a better day. That was the best day of all.
And so from there, it just went in preparation. Getting our minds and our hearts and everything where it needed to be, a lot of prayer and just figuring out details. Tammy was wrapping up school with her class, and before you know it, the surgery date was here. And so we are going to kind of start from there, from going into that process of coming to Houston, because I live in Austin, and the procedure was in downtown Houston. So we made the trip here. Tammy's about, what, hour and a half?
Hour and a half, hour and 45.
Yeah, from the hospital in Houston. So we all, our husbands and I, and Tammy and I all got to Houston probably about June 5th, right?
June 5th.
June 5th. Okay. And so going from that, let's share with them. Well, first, tell them all the things that you brought to the hospital. Maybe not in great detail, but let's share the things we brought, and let's help those about to go through the same thing or considering it, so they know kind of things that we took that we laugh about now, and then really what really helped you at the hospital. What things did you really need?
All right, so I think I needed 4 things. I did put on a pair of my own pajamas, I think the last day I was there, day 6. I had packed 3 pairs of pajamas. I did put on 1 pair. I had 100 pairs of socks with cute sayings on them. I was not allowed to wear them because they didn't have the tread on them, so they wouldn't let me wear those. I used my chapstick, 1 pair of pajamas. I did brush my hair one day. I didn't put makeup on, so that was a little useless. I did use some lotion and my toothbrush. That was it. That's what I needed.
Did you say deodorant?
Oh, I forgot deodorant. So I think I could have gone with 5 items. I had 2 rolling suitcases that Tim had to drag from room to room and up and down elevators and in and out of cars. I had 2 full suitcases that rolled that he brought with us to everywhere we went. And so I would highly recommend, if you are a recipient, those 5 items, because really that's all you need. You don't feel like putting on makeup. You really didn't feel like brushing your hair. Brushing your teeth came about day 3, maybe. I think I was able to brush my teeth.
That's so true, because even the process, which this is crazy to think, but even the process of spitting
hurt. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Leaning over to spit into a sink or the bowl that they would hold for me was painful.
Yeah.
So, yes. So, I would recommend a go bag, and I would just put my 5 items in that.
Yes. And I'm pretty similar to Tammy. Some of mine, and this is Carla talking, I guess it would help when we share because I'm the donor. Tammy, I stayed in the I was in a hotel more than Tammy was. She was in the hospital longer than me. And so what I needed was a little bit different because I needed a few more items once I got back to the hotel. But also like Tammy, I drug along a pretty good sized duffel bag filled with all kinds of things and fun socks. Tammy and I got us each Wonder Woman socks. And we had things like that in there. Well, they don't let you wear those because they don't have the sticky things on the bottom. And so the socks were useless. And needless to say, once I was in there and I was done with surgery, I really didn't care what my socks looked like. Even though it seemed fun at the time.
Yeah, at the time they were adorable.
It seemed like a lot of fun. And then, so the surgery was on Wednesday. And I was potentially getting out Thursday or Friday. So I wasn't in as long. I never changed out of the hospital gown, although I believe I had 3 cute pairs of pajamas, and I think I had at least 2 or 3 pairs of Wonder Woman socks, and so none of that got worn. And I'm trying to think of some of the other things that I had that were so useless, but the point being, when you go, it seems like there's so many things that you're going to need and want. And for me, my biggest things were deodorant and lotion. And anyone that knows me and my family will tell you that if you don't have lip stuff for me, nearby that I can put on my lips, I will go crazy. I've always told them have water and have my lip stuff. I said, when I wake up from recovery, make sure I have my lip stuff. And so for me, it was really hair ties too, because I did put my hair back. But I would say my biggest things were deodorant and toothbrush, yes, eventually, and my lip stuff and water. And I had my own blanket from home.
I
Didn't
did.
you
I
have
did.
yours
I
too?
did. I had a blanket.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I did bring my own pillow, but I ended up not using it. It hurt my neck in
Mine
the
too.
hospital bed.
Yes, I had my own
Yeah.
pillow and I did not use it.
Yeah. So at the hospital, that's all I could have got by with were those few items. And then at the hotel, of course, I needed a few more things, but literally not the jewelry I brought
no.
or all the makeup or all the other stuff that I brought and some of the very cute outfits I brought.
Yeah, well, I brought some athletic shorts, and,
Yes.
and I don't know what I thought I was going to
Yeah.
do. If I was going to do laps around the, the floor,
Yeah.
which I did, but I was using a walker and wearing the hospital gown.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I did not put on any of my athletic wear.
So I think Tammy and I's goal in this, because we laughed a lot about that, is that we want to help others that may be about to go through this to know, just bring your simple items like that and don't worry about all the other stuff until you're back home. The one thing that I did have with me, which was my lifesaver I forgot about, is my heating pad. And I knew about that beforehand. And so I had a really good heating pad that I used, which will... that can kind of carry us into talking about
The real, the true recovery.
Yeah.
I want to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
And let you know what the real recovery
Yeah.
was, because sometimes you read and there's like, oh, everybody feels great after,
and then you're like, what's wrong with me? Why
Right.
don't I feel like they do? And also with that said, let us say everybody's different. And I
Yes.
think it's so important to remember that your recovery is different from anyone else that has gone through this. Your recovery as a donor is different from the recovery of the recipient.
Yes.
So no two are going to look alike. But Tammy and I just want to share briefly on the things that that were hard, that maybe were unexpected for her, and whatever she wants to share in that, and I will do the same in sharing kind of what my recovery looked like also.
Yeah. So I'll go first. So the recovery for me, so my incision was from the hip all the way down to my like my belly button. It kind of makes a dip and came there.
And down low, though.
And down low, very,
Yes.
very low. So truly the hardest thing for me, the first week was tough in the hospital, and the first week home was tough. I mostly stayed in bed, sitting up. I slept sitting up. My back would hurt because I couldn't lay on my side. I'm a side sleeper. So that was difficult. Week 3 was a turning point for me, an absolute 100% turning point. I was up, I was moving, I was walking, taking walks outside. When I went to my first doctor's visit post-op, I came in, I was still using a walker. I was hunched over. I could barely walk. I cried as I walked. Week 3, I had makeup on. I did my hair. I had a cute outfit on. I had cute little sandals on, and I walked in like I owned the place. So 2 weeks of serious downtime, and boom. I mean, I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
Yesterday we went on a boat ride.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so, keep in mind, as Tammy and I are sharing our story right now, we just hit 4 weeks since
Yes.
surgery,
Yes.
which it just still is mind-blowing.
That it's been
But we
4,
just hit 4 weeks. And so this isn't like this was 6 months ago or a year ago. This is 4 weeks that we had surgery.
Yes.
And so as you're talking about that, share kind of what are some of the things that you didn't expect that were, maybe some of the hard things that could help people know.
Okay, the hardest thing for me was something that I hope anybody else never has to go through. I had a cough going into surgery, which I kept to myself because I didn't want surgery to postpone. So I had a cough kind of going in, and as and then after surgery, laying down, the procedure, all the fluid they pumped in me.
A tube down your throat.
A tube down my throat. When I came out of surgery, the cough was worse. And can I tell you, I only cried when I coughed because it hurt my stomach so bad to cough.
Well, because you and I both said we didn't realize how much your stomach muscles
Yes.
are used for everything. Even just a slight clearing of the throat uses your stomach muscles.
Right.
And
So I couldn't clear my throat.
Yeah.
A cough would come on, and I would have to sit up, and my husband would have to hold a pillow to my stomach, and I would cough, and I would cry, and I that was truly the worst part.
Yeah.
And that was self-inflicted because I should have, said I have this cough coming in, which I did not because I didn't want it to be anything to be postponed.
The funny part about that now is Tammy says, now I can say something because there's no take backs.
I did, yes. When I went to the doctor for one of my post-op, they said, how long have you had this cough? I said, 5 weeks. And they go, well, you had this before surgery? I was like, yep, and you can't take the kidney back. It's mine now. So truly, honestly, that was the hardest thing. And, the first 2 weeks, I'm not going to lie, they were tough, and I had a hard time sitting up and moving and things like that. But the cough was the hardest of all.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, with that said, because that's not just because Tammy had it prior, because even for me coming out, and they warned us from the tube and stuff, we might have, stuff in our throat, we might have a sore throat, which I forgot that first night after surgery, I did have a sore throat, but it was gone the next morning. But even for me afterwards, I had a cough, but mine was more of a tickle, need to clear my throat. And the same as Tammy, when I felt that coming on, I literally had to brace myself, hold my stomach, and there would be tears flowing down my face.
Yes.
Because you just could not. It was painful. And then there was also the ultimate fear of sneezing.
Oh my gosh!
And
the thought of sneezing would it would keep me up sometimes at night because I couldn't even imagine how bad that would hurt.
And I remember one time right after I got home and I felt a sneeze coming on. I didn't think about it at first. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I can't sneeze. And literally had to hold my breath, held my nose, tears running down my face, and I held the sneeze in. And needless to say, now Tammy and I, 4 weeks out, we can sneeze.
Yes, I sneezed
and we're
the
not
other
afraid
day.
anymore.
Yeah, I didn't hurt. Didn't hurt at all.
And so we're good. But those are one of the things that we didn't know about going in.
Right.
And so it's just knowing that if that happens to you, it's normal. It's not, things are, just be ready for it. Hold a pillow on it. Do whatever you have to kind of ease it, and then but just know it doesn't last that long.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm fine now.
And for me, probably the most difficult thing for me was the back and shoulder pain. But the beautiful part about that was I knew about it going in because of the support groups I follow. And so I knew, because of all the air they pump in your body to expand things, I knew I was going to have that pain because it's all that trapped air in your body. And I will tell you, it probably hurt more than the actual area of the incision. That didn't bother me, except getting up and down, learning how to get up and down without using my stomach muscles that first couple days. But that is why I had my heating pad. I bought a good one that wrapped around my shoulders and neck, and it was my saving grace. I had it on nonstop. And then when one of the episodes would hit, my husband would just massage it, and I would get up and walk around. And that was the key to getting it to, move through the body.
Yeah.
But other than that, as far as the incision and the actual process, it was definitely not even any more difficult than my C-sections,
Right.
So that's a little bit about what that looked like and kind of things that were difficult for us. That we didn't really expect. I think most of the other things we were, expectant of.
Right.
Okay, so let's jump into from that. Tell me about the immediate things you were able to do after surgery. for example, like some of the medicines you were on and things like that. What has changed since you got the transplant?
Okay, so it's true. It's truly a miracle. I'm amazed at the medicines that I no longer have to take because I no longer have those ailments. So I was on 3 different blood pressure medicines prior to surgery. My average blood pressure was about 160, 165 over 110, 120, and that was with 3 medicines. I went into the hospital. That was the last time I took the blood pressure medicine. Haven't taken it since. My blood pressure is now 125 over 85.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We have to take it twice a day. It's shocking how much that's gone down. I used to have to get a monthly infusion shot to help my body produce red blood cells because when your kidneys don't work, your bone marrow stops producing the red blood cells. So every month I would go in and get a shot because my hemoglobin was so low. I was cold all the time. That's a very interesting story. I was always cold because I never had enough blood. Every time my husband would hold my hand, he would say, "Babe, you're so cold." And I was. And now he says, he goes, "I hold your hand now and your hand is warm. And I don't need that shot anymore. I don't need the potassium." My potassium was sky high to the point where they were worried about a heart attack. My muscles, I lost all muscle mass, complete and utter total muscle mass because the potassium just ate away my muscles. I was on 2 different medicines for that. Last time I took them was the day before I went to surgery. My potassium is completely normal now, which goes back to my peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which, yes, it was the best sandwich I might have ever had. Also, avocados. I eat those on everything. Other than cereal, I eat them on everything. But just so much medicine that I was on before that I no longer have to be on. And granted, I'm on my anti-rejection medicine that I'll be on for the rest of my life. But it's in the morning and it's at night. I mean, before I was taking medicine, I had a timer that said, now it's time for this medicine. Now, and then 2 hours later, it was time for this medicine.
Yeah.
And so it's truly amazing how so quickly that new kidney fixed everything in my body. I want to tell the funny story. So for the past 2 or 3 years, when I've gone to the restroom, my urine is clear because my kidneys no longer were cleaning any kind of toxins out of my body. So my urine was always clear. When the doctors came in, when the doctor put my new kidney in, Carla's kidney, into me, she came running out into the waiting room and told everybody it was working before they started to close me up. So before they could even start, putting me back together, the kidney had already begun working. And then every person that walked into my room, I had a catheter, I had the bag on the side of the bed. Everybody came in and was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful urine I've ever seen." So at first it was odd, and that, then I sat back and just enjoyed the compliments and, "Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much."
Those aren't the compliments you ever really thought you were going to get
I know,
excited about.
I really didn't, but yeah. So it truly just the change in my body now, and then so it's been 4 weeks, and now I have 0 joint pain. Before I couldn't go up the stairs. 0 joint pain. I noticed it when I would go to the restroom. I could bend at the knees because I couldn't bend my stomach right away and stand right back up again. And my knees didn't hurt. I didn't have that joint pain. I didn't have that, it was just, I can feel that I'm stronger than before.
Yeah.
Even though, my muscles need a lot of work, I've got to get them back into shape. But I can feel that because of that high potassium is no longer there. I can feel that I'm stronger. I mean, before I could barely open a jar by myself. And, I have that ability now, which is, it's another miracle.
It is.
It truly is.
It is. And also with my husband and I here visiting her and Tim, we were telling Tammy how her skin color is different. Before, surgery, it was almost just a ashen, pasty. You were still beautiful.
Oh,
You
thank
were
you.
just a
Thank
little
you.
pasty.
Not as pretty as my urine, apparently, but
and she had dark circles under her eyes,
Yes.
and you could just see in her face the fatigue. And I mean that is gone. She doesn't have the dark circles like she did, and her skin is clear. The color is so good. You can see the energy in her face. And Tammy has always been one to hide her kidney issues for so long. Most people didn't even know Tammy, suffered with it. And so to be able to see her with that joy, and that she's always cutting up and funny, and she knows how to have fun, and no matter what. But now there's a difference in just her whole demeanor, the way she looks, the way she carries herself. It truly is incredible. And that's 4 weeks. And like
Yeah.
Tammy and I have said, that's 4 weeks. Imagine
in three months. Imagine
yeah.
in 6 months. Yes,
Yeah.
it truly. I have so much more energy now than I did before, and it's 4 weeks after
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah, that's what's so amazing, and Tammy likes to introduce me now to everyone we meet, that she knows. This is Carla. Oh, and she is the one that gave me her kidney.
Yes,
and
yes.
and so that always leads to some interesting stories, and but it really is so fun to be able to meet her friends and meet people who I know have been praying for us, and just cheering us on, to then see, wow, this is the person that donated her kidney, and look at the life in both of them.
Right,
You
right.
know, it really is cool for people to be able to see that. And, in talking about that, let's lead into just sharing some of the incredible miracles along the way, because
Oh, wow.
we have so many, and I know we won't hit them all, because sometimes our memory is jogged and we're like, but wait, remember this part? But I think, the first thing is just the whole quick process of it all. From Tammy being put on the list in November to us, there was stuff going on in December and January.
Yes.
And Houston, I was testing, and early March we knew, and June
And
was
June
the
came
surgery.
quick, yes.
And that is not common.
No, oh no, people wait years to receive a kidney.
Right.
Years on dialysis, which is so hard on a body.
Right.
So I'm so blessed, 100%. Just by the hand of God, I was able. Carla was my match, and it all happened so quickly. I didn't have to go on dialysis, although my doctor said it probably would have been sooner than later,
Yeah.
because my
You were
numbers
close.
were really declining. So, she truly changed the ending to my story, because I would, had it not been for Carla, I would be on dialysis in probably the next few months.
Well, and the whole thing that Tammy and I talk about too, just all these miracles and the process of how quick this was, and the fact that nowhere along the way was there a delay.
No.
And that too is not common. There's usually a delay for some test, something that's changed, something they need to look at that's different. And it's just the entire way, God kept opening every door. And Tammy and I talked about this a little more in great detail on our other podcasts that we'll link. But without our faith, without trusting in Him, without knowing that everything we did went to prayer, that everything we did was, Lord, if this is not what you want, if you have something else, close this door.
Right.
If I'm not Tammy's perfect match, push me out of the way and put the right person. And we just prayed constantly. But if this is your will, let it keep moving forward, open the doors, let things, fall into place. And they did every single time.
Every step of the way.
And we just kept trusting in that. And then the timing of it, and doing the letter, which I got on a Tuesday, but didn't share with Tammy till that weekend because it was her birthday weekend and she would be in person. And to share that with her on our back porch, with her and her husband
it was very emotional.
Yeah.
My husband and I cried a lot.
It was quite a moment. And then to be able to pick the date of June 7th, because
a miracle.
My coordinator had given me a few dates, and June 7th kept sticking. And then when I told Tammy, and she said it was her mom's birthday, which I knew her mom too when we were growing up, because again, Tammy and I have known each other since we were 15, and we are now 58. And Tammy's mom was just a light, just like Tammy is. So to be able to do this on her mom's birthday was just another beautiful blessing.
Yes, another beautiful miracle.
It was
Absolutely.
just incredible. And then just along the way, a sweet, sweet little story with my dad is my dad has Alzheimer's, and so I have to help them do a lot of stuff. And we went to the DMV to help take care of some stuff for him and my mom. And while we were there was a pen sitting that we were writing on the little forms they had to fill out, and it was a organ donor pen. And he latched onto that pen. And let me back up and say, my dad did not know anything about this surgery or what was going on, because we knew he wouldn't understand and it would just be too difficult for him to grasp. So we never told him. And I hated that he couldn't share that with us. And it was hard for my mom not to be able to share it with him. But this pen, he loved this pen, and he gave it to my mom to put in her purse. And she's like, Jim, that's not our pen. We can't take that home. And he's like, I want that pen. I like this pen. And the sweet lady that we had there, another angel that was put in our path, was so kind to my dad that day. And her name was Val in Marble Falls, DMV. And she told my dad, you know what? I want you to have that pen. And so that may seem silly to some, but to me, it was just another sign of the Lord giving me 100%. Confirmation of your sweet dad is going to be there with you.
Right.
Even though he doesn't know about it. And he's got this pen that he wants to hang on to. And so it was a moment like that. And gosh, Tammy, your classroom and your room moms.
My class was just amazing.
Yeah,
It gets me, gets me choked up.
Over the top.
Grateful. Beforehand, I got we communicate through Class Dojo, which is how teachers communicate, and they were all, we're praying. It was beautiful.
Well,
I mean, they spoiled us both.
They did. That was the touching
so
part,
stuff,
because it wasn't just, and I didn't know any of them. The most touching and sweet part was that they included me in everything they did for Tammy.
Yeah.
And they made us the most beautiful baskets with the most thoughtful, generous, sweet gifts and cards that all the kids made.
All the kids made. Yeah.
And it was so beautiful. And I mean, and when Tammy got home with them, she got on FaceTime and showed me every single one of them. Every gift, and it was just that was the sweetness in just the love shown by them, the love of Christ shown by these little children, and by these parents that just surrounded us with so much love.
Yes,
and
100%.
For us, that was amazing. The kindness of the hotel staff.
Oh yes,
where we stayed. It was the Residence Inn.
It was
Marriott.
a Residence Inn by Marriott.
Yeah.
By the downtown medical center.
Yeah,
yes.
down by the medical center. We were at Baylor, St.Luke's, and that staff is used to having patients there. And they went above and beyond to take care of us, to take care of our husbands,
yes.
to make sure we had everything we needed. And even down to the point of the day I got home, I got to the hotel from the hospital, my first night in the hotel, the AC wasn't working. 9:00 at night, we call them. They have someone out there. He replaces the entire unit in the room, and by 10 we had air conditioning. And so even just that, I mean, the little the miracle of that sweet man at night
Yeah.
coming and putting in a unit.
Right. And they have great rates for if you're there for a medical reason.
Yes.
I mean,
we highly recommend
highly
them.
recommend it. A full kitchen,
Yeah.
a living area, bedroom,
Yeah.
and it was like $129
Yeah.
a night. I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And a shuttle service to all the hospitals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just another piece in the journey that the Lord set up and made it a
Yes.
simple
It's simple and
process,
easy, yes.
and put more beautiful people on our path. It is the first time I can probably say I've been at a hotel where we were hugging the staff when we left.
Yes.
My husband and I wrote out a card and just included a couple little things for them. And it was just amazing. Or every time we walked in, Sonny would take me for a little walk as I hobbled down the street and would come back and they'd make sure I'm okay. And,
Yeah.
you know,
So sweet.
it just,
So sweet.
you don't get that often nowadays.
No.
You know, that's not normal. And I think Tammy and I's one of our favorite experiences was 2 nights before surgery. Tammy and Tim and Sonny and I went for a nice dinner that was provided by our sweet, sweet friends. We went to 60 Vines down in Rice Village, another place we highly recommend.
Oh, so good.
And we had the most incredible dinner. It couldn't have been the more perfect way to go into this process
Yes.
and kind of end the journey we've been on leading up to it, but then
Start this new
the
chapter.
new journey.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we got a waitress that we ended up telling the story of what's going on, and they brought us a bottle of champagne where the manager told her she could toast with us. The manager came over
And toasted with us. Yes.
We took pictures. They brought us a few things of
We had
appetizers,
different appetizers,
free appetizers
yes.
to try.
They brought us a dessert at the end.
But
Yes.
just their love and they would just come over to us and just be like, you know, just thank you for what you're doing and just tell us how amazing we were. And at the very end of dinner, the other waitress came over.
Other wait staff would go, "Oh, we
Right.
just heard your story, and good luck. Good luck
Yeah.
tomorrow.
We'll be praying
and we'll
for
be praying
you,"
for you."
and-
It was truly a miracle.
It's just-
Truly God's miracle.
We left there, all of us, just filled with so much joy and peace.
Yes.
And then even that next day, that waitress, because we had shared numbers to get the pictures, texted to let us know that she was thinking of us and would be praying for us.
Yeah.
And again, how often do those things happen in this world?
Yeah,
you know,
they just don't.
And the thing is, they don't even realize probably how deeply they touched us and just made that so much easier, because the next morning, that next day, we were all supposed to be able to spend together.
Yes.
And we were all just going to chill and enjoy the day together. And then Tammy ended up having to be admitted the next day because they were going to do an extra procedure on her to clean her blood.
Right.
And so we knew that night, celebrating and getting ready, the next morning she was going in the hospital a day sooner. And so it just was such a beautiful way
Yeah.
to end that journey to move into the next phase.
Yeah. So thank you, Carol and Steve Smith, for
Yeah,
that
exactly.
wonderful, wonderful gift
Yes.
of that lovely dinner that just meant so much to all 4 of us.
Yeah, it was incredible. And we've all said we want to go back to 60 Vines.
Yeah.
And I pray we get to see the same people and be able to love on them like they did us. But all of that is just parts of the miracles and gifts that God put in place to make this a easy procedure for the most part.
Yeah.
The process was simple, and he walked with us through the whole thing. And the beautiful part in it is Tammy and I, our husbands, the support, the love, we can't even begin to express, just everything they've done for us. And we hope eventually to get them on here to share their journey, because I think it would be helpful for other families to understand what it was for them and their side. But in that, I've known Tammy's husband since 6th grade, but Sonny and Tim didn't really know each other. And so it has been so incredible to watch the bond form
watch their
between
friendship
them.
build,
And the support system they were for each other.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yeah. They prayed together. They waited together. They worried together. They rejoiced together.
Yep.
Yeah. They definitely have a special bond now.
Yeah, and they afterwards, when they're trying to be strong and holding it together and all the things, and when you're exhausted from hospital stays, and just that they were there for each other in the times when they needed someone just to talk to and break down a little bit, and to comfort each other, has been amazing. And that's just been another beautiful piece of this. And Tammy and I were talking about it yesterday as we're spending these few days together, and we're all out in a boat.
Yeah, in a boat.
Which 4 weeks after we are boating.
Boating, yeah.
Now, we weren't water skiing or wake surfing or anything yet.
We haven't done that yet.
We were just lounging.
Yeah. Yes.
We didn't even get in the water. But we were just watching them, and it was just like how thankful we are that our husbands now have each other. Here on out, we're family.
Yes, yes.
We're not all just friends. We are family and connected in every way. And that is just another amazing piece of this whole story, in what God has done in and through it all. And I think He's grown our families in so many ways through this, watching our faith and our trust and our peace. Because Tammy and I had so much peace through all of this. And I think one of the biggest things in all of it is where we had peace. There were times, yes, did we have what ifs?
Yes.
Or did someone put a what if in our head? Yes.
Yes.
But
100%.
We fully just kept feeling so much peace along the way. And I remember with Tammy, and was it at dinner that night when I said, when is this going to feel real?
Yeah.
When does it get real? And you're like, I don't know.
Yes. Because we didn't feel like it was real, but it was funny because right then Sonny and Tim go, oh, it's real. Yeah. Trust me, it's real. So they were feeling it, but
it
we
was
were
real
not.
for them, because for them, they had the nervousness. Even though they have peace and they trust in the Lord, and that was His plan, they as husbands, the protectors, of
we're
course,
worried.
they were worried about us. And so when we said that at that dinner, they're like, oh, yeah, you might be okay. But so I asked Tammy that. And then the next day, when Tammy had to have this procedure done with the cleansing of her blood, and the process of doing that includes a couple tubes in her neck. And I remember going to see her that day, and she's like, I think it's real.
Yeah.
I think this got real. And for me, I think it was when I hobbled in your room the day after surgery, because I didn't get to see Tammy until the day after surgery. And they wheeled me down, because she was on a different floor, wheeled me down, but I walked into her room. And it was a sort of hunched over shuffle.
Right.
But it was a walk. And I told her, I said, it got real for me too.
Yeah. It's real now.
Yeah, now it's real. But Tammy and I both, when they prepped us for surgery, were in different places. And then they brought us together with our families in one room as we waited. And as we waited, we got some pictures and hung out. And then when they said it was time, we prayed.
We all held hands. It was,
And even the staff, a lot of the staff joined
were there.
us.
Yep, doctors and anesthesiologists were there, and they held hands with us. And
even in that, though, we always wondered when they brought us together in that room, are we just going to lose it? Is it? Because I really did think, I can't imagine that. And instead, we're in there talking and laughing and cutting up.
Yep.
And then after we pray, and they take me in first, it's like, well, maybe it's going to hit me when I get in the operating room. Maybe I'm going to feel scared then. And literally being wheeled off, I'm waving back, and, we're yelling, I love you, and faith over fear, faith over fear. And I didn't feel any
Yeah.
fear.
No, I didn't either. I didn't either.
And then they wheeled me in that operating room, which I call a broom closet, because I'm just not sure it wasn't the room like you see on TV. I just
My room was state of the art. Carla's was a broom closet they cleaned out and wheeled a table in there.
and I kid, it was just a small room with so much equipment and so many tools, surgical tools and people. There were so many people in there, and things happened fast. And I had an amazing anesthesiologist, and he kept me so calm and peaceful. And the last thing I remember is putting the mask on me, and I remember I was praying. I just kept praying the whole time. And he said, "This is just oxygen. Just breathe in." And he was not telling the truth, because then
that's what they said to me too. Yes.
I woke up a few hours later.
Yeah.
But the point is, both of us had peace throughout.
Such peace, yeah.
And we know that only comes from the Lord. I mean, I don't have that myself. And when people say, you're a hero, you're amazing, you're all this, I'm like, no, I'm not. It's God, because I'm not that selfless. Yeah. There's many times I want to put myself first, but I know it's what He ordained. He orchestrated the whole thing, and I just fully trusted in that the whole time.
You're right.
And have continued to feel that way.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's I every day I it's just thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you for thank you for letting me get up this morning. Thank you for letting me get out of bed and I don't hurt, and thank you for letting me go for my morning walk, which before Tim was right there by my side in case I couldn't, I needed help, and now I get up in the morning and I go for a walk by myself, and the whole time I just thank you, Jesus, for allowing this to happen, for for Carla, and for my new renewed life, and for the energy I have, and just for letting me enjoy a walk.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
It does. And you can't see Tammy here, but she does have tears, and because it is emotional for her, and it gets emotional for me at times too. But even in it, I just haven't felt like I never got like weepy, scared. I mean, I do remember sitting with my journal a couple times and, tears over stuff. But it's just, even since being home and the recovery and knowing that I have to take care of myself, that God got us through this, and just He slowed me down during this to be able to let myself heal and recover. And it's been an easy process. Am I going to say I haven't had any pain or anything? No, but it's been an easy process. I just take care of myself. I was walking right away, and now I'm walking more and more. I'm pretty much doing most of my normal things except lifting heavy. And I'm not at the gym lifting weights. And I'm still just, more cautious and careful. I'm not getting in the lake water, Right. There's things I'm not doing.
Right. And that's just that's what they told us.
Yeah.
They told us don't lift anything more than 10 pounds.
Yeah. At least for 6 weeks for me. Tammy, I think, is a little longer.
I think I'm 8 weeks, right.
And my scar is literally almost fully healed. And, Tammy's getting closer every day. And so we just wanted to share some of that and what that looked like. And we also want to just make sure we acknowledge and say that the gift of our family, our husbands, our kids, everybody, sisters, brothers, whoever it may be, and our friends. We have the most incredible,
most amazing friends
that we've had for lifelong. And these girls took care of us all along the way, from the testing in Houston in February to making sure our room was stocked, to surprising us with a luncheon, to helping find the hotel and get it booked for us to stay in, to providing gift cards and stocking our rooms. When we did get to Houston to stay in the hospital, our rooms were stocked and our fridges were stocked for our husbands and
our kids, which was such a just such a relief off
Yeah.
our mind.
Yeah.
You know, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to be at Chick-fil-A every day. They're
Yeah.
going to eat every meal at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And they didn't. You know, there was so much food, and they were very careful to get everything that we had asked
Yes,
for. You know,
gluten-free,
yes. What are your
dairy-free.
kids? What do your kids like? And what does
Yeah.
your husband like? And they separately shop for both, you know, families, and
Yeah.
it was just such a gift.
We could not have gotten through this as easily without each and every one of them, and we would name them all, but they know who they are, and we call ourselves the Fab 50s. When we get to the 60s, we're going to have to change
We're
it
gonna
up.
have to figure out a new name,
But we're the
but-
Fab 50s, and it's just a friendship and a bond that we all have.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful thing to know that we have each other. We have each other in good fun times because we all get together and do fun things
Yeah.
together.
We have a girls trip coming up in
That's right,
September.
in September,
Yeah.
where we all get together.
Yeah.
But to also know when things get hard, man, we've got an entire support system around us, and that just felt so good. And then prayer warriors and other groups of people that we got messages from, and people that had formed. What do I want to say? Little groups that morning. That, you know, our friend Lisa that was on a trip with sorority sisters. They, you know, had a planned time to pray, and just other groups that were doing that is just.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the support that we had behind us was unbelievable, and we don't take one bit of it for granted.
Oh,
ever,
no.
ever,
No.
ever. So gosh, we need to wrap up, and there's just so much Tammy and I could share, and even things that I know we haven't shared, and things behind the scenes that you know we probably have forgotten, or you know, whatever it may be. But we just wanted to give you a glimpse into what this whole journey has looked like. The miracles along the way, how our faith is what carried us through, and little bits to maybe help you if you're a donor, and if you're a recipient, to help you, and knowing that anyone can reach out to us. And you know, we have a private Facebook page called A Donor's Story, and we also have an Instagram by the same name, and that's where we kept everyone up to date on our journey, and we still do. And
Yes,
it's something we want. Just because the surgery's done, it's not over.
No.
It's not over, which leads me into it's not over because we want to help make people aware of the need for living donors, because Tammy and I learned so much through this. And for me, being someone that really didn't know about this whole donation process and kidney donors or any kind of donor, to learn that most donors are deceased.
Or deceased
Donors, not living donors. And
one of the doctors that came into he was a resident, and he came in and he said, I've been doing this for about a year, and you're only the second living recipient I've ever seen.
yeah,
And I thought, really? And he said, yeah. He goes, you know, it's just not common.
Yeah.
So I was on the floor with 14 other kidney transplant recipients, and I was the only living donor. You know, I was the only person that received a living
and I was so shocked because I was in Tammy's room when that doctor was in there, and we were talking to him, because I had the thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, are there some other living donors on this floor? I would love to go talk to him. Like, you know, I thought maybe someone just got out of surgery and I can encourage them, and he said, there's not one.
Yeah.
I mean, all the 14 on Tammy's floor came from deceased donors.
Right.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And then we learned that, what was it, 1 out of 25.
1 out of 25 is a living donor.
And I do remember that doctor telling us most living donors come from a parent to a child.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
not just a friend to a friend, or a
Right.
or a, you know, what, brother to a uncle. You know, it's
Right.
a parent to a child. And Tammy and I just want to create awareness in how much it is needed and tell them the other things that in the hospital about other types of donors.
So, if you think to yourself, wow, I don't know if I could give a kidney. I received a blood transfusion when I was in the hospital because, as I said before, my hemoglobin was so low prior to surgery. And then I also received 5 plasma treatments while I was in the hospital. So if you gave blood or if you've ever given plasma, thank you, because you might have been the person I received that from.
Mm-hmm.
But, so while I was there, I received plasma, blood, and a kidney from living people that saved my life.
Yeah.
Saved my life.
Yeah.
So, any kind of way that you can give and donate to somebody that'll change their life.
Yeah.
It'll just 100% change their life.
And how simple it is to just go give blood.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with the plasma donation process.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But, that's other ways that you can do it. And, I can't tell you how many people would tell me, wow, I don't think I could give a kidney, or, I wouldn't even give a kidney to my brother, or whatever it may be. And I'm like, you might be surprised what you would do. And, my thought and my follow-up always is, you might be surprised what God's going to have you do. Because you may think you wouldn't do it, but you'd be amazed if God puts something on your heart and it's Him and you feel it. I mean, you do it.
Yeah.
You walk in obedience to that. And I think a lot more people out there would do it than they think they would.
Yes. I think so. I think if you're given that opportunity to save someone's life, especially someone you know and you love.
Yeah. And so there are ways you can donate other than just a kidney, but there is the need for living kidney donors. And I am here to say, as a donor, you will be as blessed as the recipient is because of the things that happen along the way and the process for you and the gift of giving life. And I don't ever sit around thinking, I gave Tammy life. I saved her. I mean, will I hold it over her head a little bit?
Probably
yes.
for the rest of my life. Yes.
Yes, I probably will. And with that said, I don't want anyone to miss out on the amazing part of, for one, how awesome they said my kidney was. I mean, let's not miss that.
Oh yeah, they took a picture of it.
I have a picture.
Yes.
And they raved on and on about the kidney. But the other little story was when Tammy was at the doctor prior to surgery. They told her, your donor only has, what was it, one artery.
One
renal artery
yes.
or whatever it's called. And some people can have up to 3.
Right.
And they were like, this is the best possible scenario.
Right.
Is to have just the one. And Tammy's husband's there too. And Tammy's like, oh, like, great.
Great. One more thing she'll hold over my head. Not only did I have a perfect kidney, but it was only a one artery kidney.
Because they were like, no, this is a good thing, Tammy.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, I know.
I know. Carla will let me know about it.
And so I do. But, it's like, I don't think there's been a day yet that I've been like, wow, I gave Tammy life. I saved her life. I really haven't. My thought process is, for one, wow, I can't believe that, like, the kidney's gone. My other one's functioning beautifully, and I feel the same. And it's just like, I don't know, a gift, but not one that I take credit for. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
God gave her life. God gave her life through that kidney, and He's the one that makes it work,
Yeah.
And so we will put in the show notes, too, how you can reach out and get information on that.
I'm becoming a donor, yes.
Okay, so we are going to wrap up, because Tammy and I probably could talk forever, but it is a beautiful day, and we are going to go enjoy it.
We are at the lake, so we're going to go outside
but we wanted to record while we were together and get this out for an update. So I want to ask, and so we know the title of my podcast is Your Age is Not Your Cage, because people ask me, what does that mean? I'm like, what is it that holds you back? What is it about your age that keeps you caged up, that you don't go out and do? What are the things you want to do? Because I always say, you're never too old and you're never too late. And yeah, and not too young.
And not too young.
Because this applies for the young people. I've
Absolutely.
always said, young people have a voice. Use it. Young people, go do the things you want to do. And for us, because we are 58, it's you're never too old and it's never too late. And now Tammy and I, even more of a zest and vibrancy
for
and
life, yes.
excitement and thankfulness and boldness and wanting to try even new things we've never done. But tell me, going forward, how you're not going to let your age be your cage, and a few of the things that you have planned and the things you might want to try.
Okay. Well, a good friend of mine had always said, you need something to look forward to. So I thought to myself, all right, let's get some things on the books, because I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good. So Tim and I plan on taking Carla and Sunny to Angel Fire, New Mexico, in the next couple months, so we can do some hiking and just be together and be out in the beautiful mountains and a little bit closer to God, and just get outside and breathe some fresh air, and and be able to hike, which I haven't done because I haven't had any. I'm always out of breath. I'm not anymore, but I used to
with
be.
that incredible kidney you have, you probably will beat me up the mountain.
That's my plan, because it is now a competition.
It is a competition, which we didn't mention, because Tammy's, I have to put it out there, her kidney is doing incredible. And if you're not familiar with creatinine numbers, which are the kidney numbers, you went into surgery at what?
3.9, which was obviously very high. I was at stage 5 kidney failure, so my creatinine level was 3.9.
And you're where now?
1.1.
Yeah. And so the show off, my kidney is beating my other one that's in me, and I'm still low too. I think I was 1.3, something like that. But and that's completely normal after surgery for mine to
fluctuate and realize it has to kick in, right?
But it's incredible that her kidney is doing that well.
Oh yeah, and I can feel it.
Yeah.
Like I said, everything about me has changed.
Yeah. So I had to throw that in there. Okay, what else?
In February, we're planning on going to Mexico.
Yes.
Nice little trip to Tulum, Mexico. So
so fun.
We'll be doing that. I'm super excited. Next month, Carla's going to learn pickleball.
Yep,
she's going to take pickleball lessons.
Yep.
And then in September, I'm taking pickleball lessons. I figured she's about a month ahead of me, so I'm going to do it in September.
I've got to get a little gain on you.
Yeah, I know. Well, because she's all mad about the kidney thing. And then, so we both planning on learning how to play pickleball. So when we get together, we can do that.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to get back in the gym and start working out. Carla keeps telling me slow down and start slow.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling so much better, and my muscle just needs to be rebuilt after the potassium kind of destroyed them. So I am super excited about getting into the gym.
Yeah.
And
whatever adventures come up, we're going to think of some fun stuff. We want to do some stuff that's kind of out of the norm, out of our comfort zone. We don't know what that is yet, but we want to tackle new things. And even if we're not good at it and we fail, we're going to go for it.
We tried it, yes.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about, because now is not the time. And I don't mean just because we went through this process of surgery. I mean for anyone that is beginning to age, now is not the time to slow down.
Right.
Now is not the time to stop moving. Now is not the time to stop living. And it's just, I could go on a rampant about that, but I won't, because at this age, you should still be enjoying life, and your whole body shouldn't hurt and ache and whatever. Those are signs something's going on, and get them checked out. But this is the time to enjoy the life God has given you, and have fun and laugh and quit caring what people think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care anymore what anyone thinks.
No.
And if I want to dance goofy, if I want to sing and I sound awful,
Yeah.
Tammy and I are talking about we're going to karaoke.
We're gonna karaoke,
Yeah.
and you could probably tell by our voices that's probably not a good idea for anyone in the crowd, but we don't care.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
And I told Tammy I want to hula hoop. I really want to hula hoop dancercise like the videos I've seen, but because my arms and legs, if they're doing two different things, don't work well, I might just stick to the hula hoop.
You could always stand still.
The hula hoop. And I want to get back to some jump roping because that's just another, I think it's fun and a good form of exercise. And I'm excited to get back to the gym too, because I too have not been lifting weights since surgery. And I'm excited to get back into that because I enjoy it. And of course, my walking, which I always do. But yeah, we are excited for all that's to come next. We know there's so much, and we're looking forward to just also our families doing things together and enjoying, times together because our whole family, all our families are connected now in every way.
Yes,
and
I call her mom,
Yeah.
and she calls me her daughter.
Yeah,
and my dad holds it over my sister and I's head that Carla is now his number one
Yes.
daughter, and
Yes.
we've slipped to number 2 and 3.
Yes, and
So-
I do remind him to keep me at number 1.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's just another beautiful part of the entire journey, and we just wanted to share that with you and let you just be a little piece of it, especially for so many of you that have just walked through this with us and been beside us and supported us and cheered us on and loved us, and
Yeah.
it's just been
Your prayers worked.
Yeah.
They worked
Yeah.
100%. We are
Right.
both feeling so good,
Yeah.
so strong.
and don't stop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
we're
we're-
still in the process, and
Right.
our recoveries are still in the process, and Tammy's is more of a journey than mine. And we still need the prayers,
Yeah,
going
absolutely.
along. So
Yeah.
we thank you.
Before we go,
What?
we named our kidney.
We did name the kidney, and I am potentially working on a name for mine because Tammy and Tim talk to hers.
We talk to it like a baby all the time.
And they encourage and pray for the kidney. And I feel like that's why mine's fallen behind, because I have not named my kidney. And so
Yes.
that'll be coming. But what have you named?
it was funny because while I was in the hospital still and Carla had gotten out, she she kept asking me, "Have you named it?" And I was like, "Oh, I had so many names, I wasn't sure." You changed my ringtone.
Yes, I changed your ringtone so I would know when you're texting me.
Right.
That I wanted to make sure I got it.
Right,
So I
so-
changed the ringtone.
To the theme of Rocky.
Yes.
That dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun. And so every time I would text her, or call her, she'd like pick up the phone and be dying laughing,
Yeah.
going, "Oh my gosh, I love this ringtone. It's so great."
Then I would let it keep playing out because I wanted to hear it.
Yes. And so by the end, I thought, I said, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Hers.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Is Rocky.
Well, and because what a fighter Rocky was.
Yes.
And he didn't give up.
What a
And-
fighter. He
Yeah.
was strong. He
Yeah.
kept fighting. He never
Yeah.
gave up.
Yeah. And so Tammy and I, because you can't see us, are both wearing shirts right now that I brought her, and they say, "Win, Rocky, win."
Yeah.
And it's just another way to encourage her in the fight for life that she went through, and that Rocky is in there winning for her.
Oh, yeah.
And she's got so much to look forward to in life.
He's strong.
Yep.
He is strong.
Yeah. So we will end on that note. Thank you for listening to us and our stories, and we will have more updates later down the road. But it's been quite a journey, and we are just so thankful, and it's been so fun to do these podcasts and share this with our friends, with you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you all so much. And Carla,
Yes.
thanks for having me again.
Oh,
and
you're
and then
welcome.
thank you for that little thing of, the kidney you gave me.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you're welcome.
Hey, thanks for that.
Anytime. I'd say you could have the other, but no. My brother's got dibs on
That's
that
right.
one. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for being here,
All right.
Tammy.
I love
Thanks.
you.
I love you too.